Hey everyone, welcome to season 3, episode 17 of the Nintenbyte podcast. 2 episodes in 1 week because hell, man, we had an hour plus long direct today. That was pretty badass. And before we really get going, we introduce people. We have another guest that's coming later. I got Thunderstash literally texting me right now to see if and when he might be calling into the show because he's at a bachelor party, as he announced last week. So, bachelor party! Woo! He's probably already multiple shots and drinks into his night. However, I'm not at all. So, one, I want to let my audience know something. Today is a special day. All right. Number of reasons it's a special day. Begins with Metroid Prime 4. That's reason number 1. 8 years. And we now have literally a release date. And yes, folks, it's not delayed. It is this year, December 4th. So, in celebration of finally having that release date, we got some shots over here. We're going to throw them back and get this spread. Look at that. Tiger Time's got his drink going.
That's right, baby.
We got flipping the switch over there, or the swit over there. What do you got over there, buddy? What are you drinking?
I was torn between the Blantons and the Yamazaki 18. I went with the Yamazaki 18. It's a special night for Metroid fans.
There we go. Right? So, celebration of Metroid. Finally having a release date.
Here it is.
Cheers to the audience. Cheers to the cast. The waterman in the middle. He's got to be responsible.
Actually, this is vodka. So
vodka.
This is a real shit right here.
Yeah. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
All right.
Oh,
that's not terrible.
God,
I'm glad
it's good.
That was good. What a good start to the show. Put some hair on the chest. All right. Welcome everyone to the Nintenbyte podcast. Obviously, we just had the longest Nintendo Direct of all time, and that's not exaggerating. It was literally 66 minutes, which does officially make it longer than the Switch 2 event in April. So yeah, longest Direct ever. Pretty crazy. There was a lot of good stuff in it. Now, not everyone's happy with the Direct. That's just the way it goes. I don't know if Nintendo's ever released a Direct and everyone's happy. I don't think it's possible. I'm happy. As people know, I gave it an A- earlier today. But some people think it's a D. I saw Switch Force out there. Just watch it. I'm like, okay, cool. All opinions are valid. Of course, you can only really speak for yourself, right? But we have a lot of games to talk about, a lot of things to get into. Metroid's obviously a really big one. We have to talk about it because it wasn't just the release date. They revealed some new stuff that's never been done in Metroid before. So we got to dive into that, and maybe we'll throw the trailer up if I can get it to work. Please work. Please work today. That being said, sometimes it doesn't work, but I'm hoping it does. Let's go ahead and go around the room and introduce some people because we have 2 first-timers on the show down below. I will note, everyone, that N64 Josh will be joining us later on the show, and he'll probably be here all the way to the end because, come on, man. He hung over with us like all the time at PAX West. I'm going to be giving him lots of shit when he comes on, though. That $55 pizza, he owes me some money, man. He owes me some freaking money for that dinner. I would be giving him some shit. Not only was it really expensive, it wasn't that good. So like the slice we had on the last day was better than that. In fact, that slice might have been the size of the whole pizza. And I only paid like $9 for that slice. So anyways, and that hot honey at that place. Oh my God. I'm going back to that place next year in Seattle. That pizza place where we got the slices. That was good. That was good.
And actually, we might get the full pizza this time.
Maybe I'll DoorDash from that place and just get the whole pizza to come. Maybe I don't even have to go there. We can just like meet up. Poolside, I don't know. There's a lot of cool places in Seattle to meet up and do shit. All right, let's go ahead and introduce everyone. First off, I'll introduce Flipping the Switch Zoo. You guys might not know who he is. He's got a channel. I've been on his channel. I've been on his podcast before. We've done debates on his. He does lots of debates, actually. Want to introduce yourself, buddy, and let people know what the hell do you even do on YouTube? Well, who are you?
Well, heck, you act like I know. So yeah, I'm people call me Zoo, Mungan Zoo. Flipping the Switch. Right now, it's Flipping the Switch, which is a Morrowind reference because I'm playing a lot of Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. It will be back to Switch because I am a Switch 1 curmudgeon and a Switch 2 skeptic. So going to be an interesting discussion here today. And long-time Nintendo watcher, I have an original set of Hanafuda cards. So I go all the way back, but an interesting company that I've always loved to kind of study and talk about and literally learn business kind of studying them. So got a lot of links there. It's a love-hate relationship, but I think it's fun.
Yes. And as I found out today, you do not own a Switch 2. So
I do not.
So that might be an interesting discussion later. Did they do enough to get you yet? Or are you still waiting? We'll talk about that in a bit. Then we have Tiger Time. who the hell are you? I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know who you are. So introduce yourself, sir.
Yes. Well, yeah, my name's Tiger Time. Longtime watcher of the podcast, huge fan. Thank you for having me on, first of all. My name is Tyler, which is why it's Tyme in the Tiger Time. So, yeah, name's Tyler. I've been playing games my whole life. I remember the first time I saw a video game, I was on the couch with my mother. She was playing the original Legend of Zelda on the NES, and I was like, that looks awesome. And then eventually I got a Nintendo 64, Game Boy, and I've just been, playing Nintendo, playing games ever since. Now I make videos about them. So my videos are kind of like conversational little mini video essays where I just kind of throw out interesting ideas that I think of and have some feisty comment sections. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's great to be on here. I'm usually kind of hanging out in like Gamebird chat, Thunderstash, Prime's chat. So it's really cool to be on here. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I gotta say, I love your kind of introduction to Nintendo in games because it's similar to mine. I've talked about it on the show, but I was a little kid. I must have been like 4 years old when I got a hand-me-down NES in the gold Zelda cartridge. That was my first video game. So that's really what set the stage for the hobby, to be honest with you. So that's really cool that your first experience too was kind of watching your mom play that. That's awesome.
Yeah, she was pretty cool mom. And then my aunt also, I remember like watching her play Pokemon on the GBA and Game Boy Color. So yeah,
good memories.
A lot of gaming girls in my family. So they set the tone. Got to give them credit.
There we go. We have the Spice Lord here, who just did technically a spicy shot. How was it?
That was a spicy shot?
Maybe it's supposed to be. It's just chili. It's just chili. Chili's delicious.
It was cold. So I guess it was chili. No.
Now you got me curious because it's been a while since I've done it.
It's not terrible.
I don't actually remember. I remember me not liking it, and that's why I stopped. But
it's really not that bad.
Well, look at that, guys.
Well, it's pineapple.
So you're going to get a second shout out of me tonight, guys. I'm going to let you know right now. I know like half the internet's kind of like meh on the direct, and I'm like super high on this direct because it was fucking awesome. I don't know anyone else's thoughts here at all. Like I asked Eric like very briefly when he first arrived here, and I don't even remember what he said. So, so I don't even remember his thoughts. I am going to say right now, guys, if anyone does $20 super chats and above on this show, I'm busting out random alcohol all night. It is what it is.
Hey, and I will join him in that, so you'll get to hear a drunk Zoo as well.
Yeah, because here's the bottom line. I am celebrating. This was an amazing direct for me. And I'm specifying for me. There were so many great announcements, but we'll get to that. We are going to get very specific at some point. We don't have general topics tonight because the topics are direct. But we will go like deep on like very specific games. You know, the Galaxy games, obviously, we got to go deep on the Metroid stuff. Maybe deep on some of the third party, we'll have a third party section. But we're going to start this all out, obviously, with going in general. But before we do, Gamebird, what are you doing to that stash over there, buddy?
I'm trying to fill in for Thunderstash in a sec. So
big shoes
I'm like,
to fill.
I've got to. I'm gonna need to like bust out some puns tonight. When the opportunity arises.
The dad joke puns for
Might
sure.
need to have a story or two about when I was a child.
Make sure there's also a story about since you've been with Ricky. Make sure there's a story with that as well, because he brings up Michaela every show.
Absolutely. And then the stash. I don't know, guys. I'm trying. Listen, I don't have the Thunder stash, so I'm trying. So
dude, I swear if his stash ever gets like way out here, that's gonna be fucking hilarious. I hope he just keeps it going way out here.
I know, it's so good. you should totally do a Robotnik for Halloween. It would be so great.
Yes.
Just get the goggles and the fat suit and stuff and the bald cap.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. He totally should. I was saying, as you keep like straightening out your stash, I was saying this before the show, it literally looks like a villain stash. It's so great.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you can top me, do you?
Wow, that was good.
I got a point, dude. I got the fancy equipment over here. This is my job.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. When it's your job, suddenly you level up all your shit. That's just what
Right.
happens.
Okay, look, motherfucker, don't you fuck with me.
All right. Told you, I got all the fancy shit. I don't know if any of the sound effects will work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I got shit like, look, guys, the way I'm going to be talking about some of these games tonight, it's gonna feel like this.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means. Provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Get some people going.
That's right. Metro Prime 4 is very provocative. There were people in my chat saying they wish they were the motorcycle. So I'm just saying it's going to get provocative. All right. I'm Nintendo Prime. You pretty much just got introduced to me, the inappropriate, most hated Nintendo YouTuber in the world. But you know what? People keep watching for some reason. So we're going to keep this shit going. You guys can follow me everywhere. But right now, we got to dive into this direct. So first, we're going to dive deep on specific things that those of us want to dive deep on. Of course, some of us feel differently about different games in the direct. But I feel like we got to get a temperature check. How did we feel about the direct overall? And like, what was some of our favorite announcements? Was some of our least favorite? Let's get into that. And I know for a fact, flipping the switch was not positive on this direct earlier today. So let's start with what I know is going to be negative. What's going on, buddy?
Well, I'll tell you, as I've marinated on it, and I've had talks with you, and I've had talks with OJ from Player Essence and a few other people, I've kind of moderated that a little bit. Now, whenever I answer a question like how was a direct, got to keep in mind, Nintendo, guys, that Nintendo makes products, their stated goal is ages 5 to 95, right? So not every product's going to be for everybody. So are we talking about, for me personally, or are we talking about Nintendo as a business?
For you personally, Nintendo is a business.
C minus, C plus, B minus.
Okay. Now, why? So
again, part of this is my fault. Part of this is my damn fault because I was expecting some kind of a Mario drop as a, and people, so the chat understands. All I want out of this world is more Mario, more Metroid, specifically of the 2D variety, more Zelda. If I can get that, I'm a happy camper as long as it's up to standards. Didn't get that. Again, that's my fault. That's for hyping myself up, but got to look at it from my perspective. If you go back to when I successfully called, I did call this that, hey, we're going to get a Switch 2 in 2025. Reason I said that is because, okay, well, what kind of shit does Nintendo have on the shelf? We've got Mario Kart, which is done. We'll have a new Mario Kart when the new Switch launches. So that's going to happen. We'll probably have a new 3D Mario because that team's been done for a while, EPD1. Little did I know about Donkey Kong Bonanza. So 2025 just seems right to get Mario Kart, to get a 3D Mario out there. Then everything else, Nintendo can play it by ear. So I was right about that, but I wasn't right about the fact that it looks like Donkey Kong Bonanza showed up and kind of dashed my Mario hopes. That said, I hear Donkey Kong Bonanza is a stellar game too, so we can talk about that. So the main reason is no Mario on Mario's 40th anniversary. That made me very sad. And then there's other stuff we can get to as the podcast goes on.
Absolutely. Okay, Tiger time. Temperature check. How we feeling about the direct?
Yeah, I was thinking a letter grade wise, kind of a B plus really for me. The only reasons it didn't kind of reach that A tier is no Zelda. I'm a big Zelda guy, and I was really feeling Luigi's Mansion. So kind of in the same vein as you were talking about, where, yeah, I kind of had my expectations in a certain place, and so I set myself up for a tiny bit of failure there. But, I still really like the direct. I think that if you love JRPGs, you were eating really good with this direct, which has kind of been the theme of Switch 2 so far, which I really do love JRPGs, so that's been exciting to see. Obviously, the DLC stuff with ZA and already putting that in there with the price and before it even launches, that's another kind of tick off of it. But overall, B plus. I really like some of the announcements, big Fire Emblem guys, so that was really exciting. Yeah, B plus for me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there we go. What about you, Eric?
I think I'm kind of in your range of like the A minus area. I like that we got the I thought for sure that the Mario movie wasn't like going to even be shown because there was the rumors of the trailer being not ready, but this could be their supplement trailer, I guess. But at least we got the name reveal. That's freaking awesome because I love Illumination movies.
By the way, I just want to note, guys, I'm skipping past the Mario movie trailer because it's what got my stream copyright claimed earlier today.
Oh, fun.
So that's why I skipped that.
Fun. And then the couple of left fields like the Mario Tennis Fever kind of feels a little bit like old Mario Tennis back on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
And the Yoshi game, the new Yoshi game, that one I did not see that coming. Virtual Boy, who the hell saw that coming? And so there was a lot of like left field crazy moments, and that's kind of what I was like. I like it. This is fun. So, and I know there's more out there, but we'll get into that. But yeah, that's kind of what I was liking it, is because the left field did not see that coming at all.
We already have our first $20. Want to throw it in there? It says Pop Brownie, but maybe you're on one, not me.
All right.
I do have I will note, I do have some dope dough, which is like cookie dough weed. So if we somehow get to 420 at some point tonight in terms of total super chats, I will partake in some snacks. We'll have some fun. But for now, I'm already getting on to my next shot. I just want to make sure I shouted that out, because there wasn't a question with that.
I'm going in with you, Prime.
Yeah. Now remember, guys, any super chats, like usually we do like Q&A section towards the end. We will be doing that again. So if we don't show your super chats right away, just know that's why. But in the case of this one, like the 20s, if they're not actually statements and you're just doing it to get me to do shots, I'll just feature it and we'll just keep going, so you guys know why I'm doing a shot. Okay. Birdman.
This one for me was, I want to say, a 9 out of 10 or an A for me. And I say that understanding that this isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea, but this direct really nailed on some stuff that I really like as a game. I'm a huge RPG guy, so seeing like strong support for, it's probably my favorite genre, to be honest. The only thing that could have made this an A+ or made this a 10 out of 10, honestly, is the next Zelda game, whether that's next mainline Ocarina of Time remake, the next 3D Mario, or if they had like a 2-hit combo in here of maybe like the return of Star Fox, but also the new Xeno game or the new Monolith IP. But this one was killer. I mean, ending on Fire Emblem, this was a game that I had in my expectations bingo card. The timing felt right. I explained that I think that Engage felt like kind of like a celebration of the series, and it feels like we're due for the next like actual follow-up to Three Houses, and that's what we're getting. And for me, I'd put Three Houses in top 5 Switch games. I think you could even make an argument for top 3 Switch games. That game's so good. It's 3 campaigns in one game, killer storytelling. It's all interconnected. So ending on Fire Emblem was huge. And I know we'll dig into more of the games here, but I gotta shout out to floored by the art style from the new Yoshi game. Unbelievable. Looked like a blend of just like hand-drawn illustrations with slight claymation, but I don't know. There's a lot of really good stuff here. We'll deep dive on it, but for me, and a lot of the stuff that I enjoyed to play, this is a 9, and that's not a fanboy 9. That's like, I love RPGs, and just ending on Fire Emblem was huge for me.
Okay, yeah, Fire Emblem was massive. God, I feel really bad that I don't remember the name of it. What's the name of the new one?
It's Fates. It's a here. I'll tell you right now. It's a fantastic name, by the way.
Yeah, it's a really cool name, but I totally am forgetting the name of it.
Cool.
It'll start sticking with me.
Fortune's Weave.
Fortune's
Weave.
Fortune's Weave.
Really good name,
dude. It looks like it has like an arena thing going on, which looks pretty sick. We'll obviously get to it in a moment when we talk about the individual games, but yeah, I was really excited about that game. And I understand for some people that's not the best game to do for like one more thing, like the best selling game in the series is like 4 million or whatever. But man, it looks so good.
Yeah.
Keep in mind though, Fire Emblem 3 Houses was when it came out, was one of the highest rated games of the year, did not get a nomination for Game of the Year, but won the fans' choice. This is like a series that was kind of niche that's become more mainstream, but this one's a big deal. It actually is.
Well, let's put it this way, guys, for people that don't think that this is big one more thing, right? If we would have went back to last June of last year, Metroid Prime 4, right? You think everyone's, oh, that's a good one more thing. Fire Emblem 3 Houses outsold every Metroid game that's ever existed. Just to like give perspective, Fire Emblem is factually bigger than Metroid. For now, we'll see. Prime 4 could be the one. We'll get to that in a moment because there's some exciting things going on with that game. But I'm a little worried just a smidge worried because Prime 2 and 3 don't look like they're coming out before it. And also, I'm a little worried that new fans might not like the fact there's a 4 in the thing because they think they got to play the prior 3 to get into it. Whereas Metroid Dread was brilliant because that's Metroid 5. But you absolutely did not need to play the prior 4 games to play Metroid Dread. It was not needed at all. And I think that really helped the sales of that game become the best-selling Metroid of all time. But we'll get to that in a moment because I kind of would have liked to see after they announced it was Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, if they would start pulling the 4 back into the background and let Beyond kind of be like Metroid Prime Beyond be the main title, where we all know it's Metroid Prime 4. But whatever, we'll talk about that later. My reactions in general, look, my audience knows, but we have additional audience here because the bottom line is more people tune into the podcast than pretty much anything else we do. Thank you so much for that support, guys. I do really appreciate it. That shows that we're doing something right when we have more people that show up to the podcast and show up to any other stream besides obviously while we're reacting to a direct or something. I gave it an A-. There's a lot I loved about this direct, and I love that a lot of the things that happened in the direct weren't like leaked or rumored. As much as I cover rumors and leaks, it's really cool to have things that like Fire Emblem. I thought Fire Emblem was a possibility, but a lot of people were thinking like maybe that Fire Emblem remake that's been rumored for a while. No, brand new. Obviously, we don't know 100% if it's following in the footsteps of Three Houses, but I'm betting it will because Engage, to understand, like I love Fire Emblem Engage. It's actually more like the OG Fire Emblem. Like loved Engage because I love the OGs. But Three Houses became the best-selling one for a reason. Really expanded on the social aspects, the college stuff. Yeah, really cool. The waifus, everyone likes the waifu stuff. So like it really expanded on that.
It pushed the series forward. You know, a lot.
And it didn't get rid of what made the series great, which was all the combat and the the rock paper scissors nature of things, and quite difficult at times. And because they had the different houses, there was like you could have multiple playthroughs. I kind of feel like there'll be something like this again with this game. And the reason I say that is when Engage came out, you guys know they pulled the physical version off store shelves a year later, right? That's how bad it was selling. They pulled the physical version. You can only buy this game digitally brand new unless you have a store that happens to still have physical copies in stock. They stopped making it in like January or something of 2024. So that was insane. And that at the time, if you guys remember, the speculation we had, and at least I had at the time, was maybe Nintendo's coming out with Nintendo Selects or something like that, a cheaper version. And so they're pulling some physical to come out with cheap ones. No, it never came back. They never brought the physical back a year. You know, Nintendo keeps the price and keeps the games going for many, many years. The fact that they pulled it, it let me know in that moment Nintendo realized that's not the direction we can go with Fire Emblem anymore. Everyone expects what Three Houses did. A lot more social features, running around in a world, which they showed just a little snippet of us running around doing something. I obviously don't know what because they didn't show a lot of that, but it's a 2026 game. It's not a spring 2026 game. It's so I think it's second half of next year. So that's really exciting. And I loved that. I think this is a return to the Three Houses format, but not doing it at college style. It's doing some other faction things probably going on that I can't wait to experience because there seems to be an arena tournament and some other stuff going on. I'm really excited. So to me, it was a great closer, but that's for me. I understand for a broader audience, something like 3D Mario would have probably been better. I want to remind people, as I had to explain to Flipping the Switch today, the 3D Mario team made Bonanza. So if you look at the order of how they were producing games, they made Odyssey. They added one smidge of free DLC to that. And then they actually made Bowser's Fury. They're the team that made Bowser's Fury for 3D World. And it seems like after that, based on interviews, they went right into Bonanza. And Bonanza was going to be a Switch 1 game. Then it started getting later. COVID happened. I'm sure that caused some probably delays in some of the development. And then obviously they were getting towards Switch 2 and they're like, hey, a lot of what we want to do just looks and feels better on Switch 2, a lot of the destruction and all that. So we moved it to a Switch 2 game. Now, we also know there's rumors out there, and this is just rumors because we'll probably never get it verified, that Switch 2 was delayed. Like it was supposed to come out sooner than it did. So I think Bonanza was also probably supposed to come out sooner than it did because the system was supposed to. But for whatever reason, I think that's why we didn't see 3D Mario, because I don't think 3D Mario now, I thought there was a chance it could be teased. Just teased. But now that it didn't show up, I don't think it's coming out next year. And I think that's okay. I think 2027 is fine for it. Or if it's really crazy, maybe they pair up 3D Zelda and 3D Mario in the same year again and bust them both out in 2028. That would be an insane time. The middle of the gen, one of the greatest years ever. That would be sick. That being said, going back to the rest of this direct, the A part of it, and I'll explain why it's a minus, comes from the fact that there was 4 brand new games announced by Nintendo that we didn't previously know about. I'm excited for all 4. I'm always a little tepid on Yoshi. I've enjoyed the Yoshi games. Obviously, Yoshi Island's where I wish it was going. And for a moment, they talked about Yoshi and an island at the very beginning of the trailer. And I'm like, the return of Yoshi's Island? That's not the direction they went. They went clearly all the way back to like Crafted World and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm okay. By the way, I enjoyed those games. They're super easy. Usually they're fun to play with your kids or with friends, but like they're not a challenge. And that's okay. Not every game from Nintendo needs to be a challenge, but it just needs to be fun and whimsical to play. Kind of a thing that's cool for like a day on like a random weekend. You just beat it and have fun with it. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to be okay with it if it's $70. That's not going to be too much for a game that I'm probably going to beat in 5 hours. That said, we don't know prices or anything on that yet, so we can't really even talk about that aspect of this particular game because we do know prices for some of the other games. We don't know prices for this one. So then we'll see. The price will probably determine how excited I am for that. I will say that I'm going to just say right off the bat, I think it looks 10 times better than Princess Peach Showtime. I don't think
that art style alone. The art style for me just sells the game.
The hand drawn. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, storybook. So yeah, there's that. Obviously, the other new games that were announced. Age of Calamity looking fantastic as well. So like I counted this in the post show. There was 4 brand new announcements, 9 total games that have never existed before in this direct. Obviously, we knew about 5 of them beforehand, but still 9 total games from Nintendo. And then there were like 4 to 5 like classics coming back in some new way or new DLC or something like that, right? I think that's a really good mix from Nintendo. It means Nintendo showed basically 14 to 15 things that have their IPs involved. 9 of them never existed before. 4 were brand new announcements plus classics. I think it's a really good mix from Nintendo. And the third parties, Requiem. Look, I know the rumors told us we were getting it, but it's one of those things I believe it when I see it. And I've seen it. And I've even seen the comparisons today because people are comparing it to because the trailers dropped for the other versions. Obviously, it debuted here and then the trailers dropped after for everyone. I gotta say, outside of the hair, it looks just fine compared to all the other versions. Obviously, it is 30 FPS. That's like, I think at this point should just be expected for these really big AAA games. But it looks fine. It looks totally passable. I don't know where people are getting the PS3 thing from. I'm confused on that, but it doesn't matter. I think it looks fine. It's running in 1080p. Probably, again, we don't know. The game's not coming out till February. So, like, what we saw today is like the worst the game's ever going to look. It could look better by then. We've already seen this with like Star Wars Outlaws. Remember Star Wars Outlaws? It looked really rough. Like, oh, that's really coming. Look how rough. It's so blurry. And it's like the frame rates are choppy. Chances are by February, when this comes out day and date with the other versions, it's probably going to look better. And obviously, I think Resident Evil 7 and Village, what they showed looked great, but we didn't see a lot of those ones. And they're obviously, before this, some of those were on PS4. So like, I think those are probably going to look and run just fine. So again, what we saw today is the worst it's ever going to look. High potential that when we get that February direct, which I suspect, it's going to look much better in that direct. Will they fix the hair stuff? I don't know. I kind of feel like the hair stuff might be a DLSS thing because DLSS has had that issue on PC a little bit with some hair stuff, but whatever. As long as the rest of it, as long as they if they can somehow get it to 1440p and docked mode, that would be great. So we'll see what happens. Well, I'm excited by it because it looked like it was running at a consistent frame rate, and that's important. And we played Resident Evil Requiem, unfortunately not Gamebird. We do have a pin for you though, so we'll get that to you. But we did play Resident Evil Requiem at PAX West, and oh my god, was it amazing! Mm-hmm. So imagining that I get to play this in the darkness of my room in the middle of the night on my Switch bed. Yulia, my fiance might be waking up in the middle of the night to screams from me, and I'm looking forward to. Yep. Are you okay? I'm playing a game. That's what I'll say.
Yep.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to that. So that's going to be fun. And obviously, there were other third-party games in there. They showed some indie stuff. To me, this was a very good direct. Now, why the minus? The minus is twofold. One, I do not think they showed a game that looked like we needed Switch 2 to play besides Requiem. Nintendo-wise, I think all of the games they showed feel like the kind of games we could have got on Switch 1. Not necessarily at how crisp they look. Like Fire Emblem looked really crisp. I don't think it would have been that crisp on Switch 1. But it does feel like they could have made that on Switch 1. And that's okay. I was hoping for one of those showcase, a Monolith Soft, a 3D, like some sort of showcase game that like, hey, this is why we need the power. And I realize there's a lot of things happening under the hood. Like a lot of the destruction stuff in DK Bonanza probably only feels as good as it does because of the power they have. The 24 racers might have only been possible in Mario Kart World because of the power. But it's just from that visual perspective, there wasn't like that big standout from Nintendo. I do think Age of Calamity, it's looking good. Or Age of Imprisonment. My gosh, there's so many high games. I'll be the third one. I think that looks really good. But the point is that there wasn't that. So I had to dock a little bit off like being an A+ down to an A for that. And then the rest of the stuff I had to dock had to do with the fact that there was DLC announcements, 2 of them, before the games even come out.
Yeah.
I do not like when companies announce DLC, paid DLC for games before the game's ever been in. Like you're trying to convince us to buy something before we even know if the game's good.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. And I understand
at least
DLC before games come out. Like the DK Bonanza DLC was obviously planned out before games came out. But it's like at least they waited to announce it till months after we've already played the game.
Yeah, it's never fun to see that. That was definitely annoying to see multiple times in the direct. But I mean, at least it wasn't day one DLC. I mean, there's always that,
Day one DLC,
which is commonplace in the third party
content. Literally cut content. There's nothing, no other way to look at that. Now, I thought I was going to be the last one talking here, but N64 Josh popped in. Thank you so much for being here, Josh. Welcome.
So good to be here, ready to talk this direct.
What's up, mate?
Yeah. So right now, what we're talking about is just our overall feelings and grade for the direct. I just wrapped up mine. How are you feeling about this direct?
Yeah, I gave it a B, and I tweeted out all kind of my pros and cons, and then somebody like replied to me and was like, I think that's an A-, and I said, how about a B+? So we did a little compromise there.
Nice.
I think like part of it, I usually keep my expectations pretty low. I had very big expectations for this, especially based on conversations that we had at PAX with Nintendo. It was like, expect to have your mind blown. And it's not that there wasn't like some really, really great stuff and stuff that I'm very, very excited for. But I think like to just kind of get the cons out of the way, they just didn't have that heavy hitter that like everybody in the community is talking about, right? That everybody is super, super excited about, like a 3D Mario, like an Animal Crossing, like Smash, that kind of thing. Something that really, really does crazy number. Even a Zelda game. I mean, obviously we have the Dynasty Warriors game coming out, the Hyrule Warriors game. But so outside of that, when I went back and watched it a second time, I think I even liked it more, honestly. And like kind of knowing more what I was going to be seeing and paying attention closer, I liked it a bit. You were going to say something, Prime?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's funny you say that because that's kind of like what happened a little bit with flipping the Switch after I talked to him a bit and Player Essence talked to him. And other people I've noticed that like when they stepped back from the direct and then re-looked at it without the initial expectations they had, a lot of them are like, you know what, that actually was a pretty decent direct. Like even they might not get them to A level, but it's kind of like, you know what, they actually had a lot of stuff in that direct.
I was fortunate that right after I had to get to some work stuff, and so I wasn't able to do like a reaction like show or anything. And so I'm actually grateful for that because I think my initial response, I focused a little too heavily on what I didn't get versus on what we did get. And after, like I said, after watching it a second time, and I'm a huge like Mario Tennis fan, like that. I'm so excited for that. The Koopalings and Wonder, that kind of stuff. Like that's potentially an entirely new game, that we're assuming is going to be $20 or at least enough content
Totally.
to be a new game. And so there's a ton to be excited about. The thing that I really thought about the most today is the fact that like Nintendo is not on their heels. They don't have to basically put all the big guns up front. This felt a bit more like the system was 3 years old and we've already had a lot of the big hitters, and then there's DLC coming for some of those big hitters, and then we get some more niche titles. And I even was doing a little bit of research. I wanted to see what like Japan, like what their social media was saying about it, and they're a lot more positive and a lot more stoked about it than what we were seeing on in our neck of the woods. Which, I mean, big surprise, right? Like that's pretty typical. But yeah, I think after stepping back, like you said, Prime, it's just it was very solid. And I also, the second time I watched it with an 11-year-old and a 3-year-old, my girlfriend's kids. They were so hyped for certain things. Like when the flower came out, like the little toy, they were both like, "You're getting us that, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, we'll get you that." When they saw like the Wonder stuff and like the Pokemon stuff, the Kirby stuff, they were super, super excited. The movie, they were going crazy. They're like, "This spring?" I'm like, "Yes, this spring." They're like, "We're going to the movies this spring." I'm like, "Yes, this spring." Like they were just so hyped. And so I also loved seeing that aspect of it. Is like, this doesn't have to be so serious either. Like to just kind of watch them just watch with zero expectation and just be excited about what was coming also was kind of like a bit refreshing.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the direct is one of those things where obviously, as a news channel, talk about rumors and leaks, like people get really hyped for certain things, and all these certain, like, we're getting a 3D Mario someday, guys. We're getting a 3D Zelda. These games are coming. These are tentpole IPs, right? They're coming. They're going to come when they're ready, though. This is the way Nintendo's always been. They're not going to rush something out just because it would build excitement. They want to make sure when they show it, it's the best it could be. This is why Odyssey's a 97. Why Breath of the Wild's a 97. Why the Prime games always end up like 94, 95 plus rated. It took 8 years plus a reboot and somewhere in there to get it to us. Like they want to make sure the games are ready rather than being what a lot of companies do. And unfortunately, what Ubisoft chose to do with Star Wars Outlaws with its initial release, rush it out because it's a big name IP and have a broken mess of a game. That's what it was at launch. And that's not good. Nintendo doesn't want that. In fact, the one time that seemingly happened during the Switch generation was Scarlet and Violet, and Nintendo had to issue a public apology. They were embarrassed. Nintendo got embarrassed by Game Freak and TPC dropping this game that's so buggy, people falling through the world. When's the last time you remember a Nintendo game have a bug happen where people fall through the world? It's just not a bug that happened with Nintendo games. At least not in the modern day. Sure. This is obviously a day and age where patches can come before we discover those bugs, but so yeah, to me, really, really great. I thought one game I forgot to bring up was that new Pokemon game. I thought that one looked really interesting. Not my cup of tea per se, but anyone that's like a
dude, they are going to make so much money off that game. That was my first thought. I was like, holy crap, they're going to make so much money.
That like directly appeals to that really massive growing
cozy game.
The
cozy game, farming sim, Minecraft like, but Pokemon. That that game's gonna print money.
So now, but I can't be the only one terrified at the lore implications of that Ditto, though. Surely.
What are you talking about?
Have you ever seen Ditto looks creepy when he transforms into anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the lore implications there are staggering. So I can't wait to see what people make of that. I
didn't know Ditto could turn into human. So this is fun.
That Ditto was precious. I don't know what you people are talking about. It was adorable.
They
Those
use
are
that term
adorable.
human pretty loosely.
Yeah. A human that gets Bulbasaur arms and can dig grass out of what is happening? It's like creepy looking but cute at the same time, and I'm not sure what to think about.
Yeah. Trying to look away.
Yeah. I'm not really going to play much of the game. I mean, maybe I get lucky and Nintendo sends me a copy, so I at least check it out. But I'm not really that big into the cozy games outside of Animal Crossing. And even Animal Crossing, I usually have an expiration of. I'll play it for 6 months and then I'm going to move on because cozy games are kind of like MMOs to me. Like they just never really end, and you just keep going and going and going. And like I want to play all this other stuff, so I can't really fully invest. I'm not at that point in my life anyways that I just want to fully invest in just that because there's so much other stuff I want to play, not just on Nintendo, on other consoles as well. So that said, I know that game, if I would be shocked if that game does not do a Game Bird set, it just becomes like gang busting. I mean, it might sell better than any Pokemon game ever.
Now watch, they somehow tie it into the anime. Freaking like Team Rocket brings out a whole bunch of Ditto humanoids.
They should.
Great.
They got slits going straight up for eyes.
I mean, what is it called? Pocopia?
Yeah,
Pocopia. Yeah, Pocopia. This looks like one that I might pick up just to try it, just because I've got love for the Pokemon series. I'm like Prime. I'm not a big cozy game player. There is an exception to that. Animal Crossing is not one of them. I do not enjoy Animal Crossing. I've tried every entry. If Animal Crossing was the one more thing, that's a disappointing one more thing for me, with understanding that that's a huge deal for a lot of people. It's a win for a massive audience. But Animal Crossing doesn't. The reason why it doesn't do it for me is because it's missing things that I would want in the game, like a combat system and skill trees and the things that you get in games like Fantasy Life, the new Fantasy Life, which I love, as well as even Dragon Quest Builders. Those are two kind of cozy games that I really enjoy, but there's kind of a storyline to follow. You know, granted, it's not the most substantive storyline, but it's there and it moves along a plot with different characters and a villain and you know, new weapons and armor that you craft, and there's combat. You're not just watering plants and cutting down weeds. So for me, I'm interested to see. Obviously, there's going to be some sort of a catch-em-all mechanic because you get your abilities from collecting Pokemon. At least that's what it looks like from this first trailer. So I don't know. There might be a hook here that maybe it doesn't have the combat stuff. Maybe there is Pokemon battles in here still. I don't know, but it definitely has my interest peaked.
I kind of see it as a little bit of a like there's that old game that Microsoft made, Viva Pinata, where you build your garden and that attracts certain Pokemon. And I kind of wonder if it's not Nintendo's kind of take on that, because I always looked at that game concept just as a business mind and said, man, you know, that could be absolute gangbusters if it wasn't Microsoft. And I'll be very curious to see what Nintendo does with the same concept.
Hey, no Viva Pinata slander on this show, buddy.
Viva Pinata was a brilliant concept. It was
a brilliant,
had the unfortunate aspect of being owned by Microsoft.
I mean, the last brilliant Rare game until they finally added content to Sea of Thieves. I'll give Sea of Thieves some credit after they added content.
Brilliant.
And it did play well on DS too.
Okay, there you go.
Viva Pinata.
Didn't even know it was there. That's how little I paid attention. I'm like, wait a minute. What the fuck is happening? By the way, we can get into some individual aspects here. I just have to know before I go any further that Josh, I think you owe me some money, man.
Ooh. Oh, from what?
Oh,
so at PAX,
here it is.
At PAX,
Yeah,
I had that $55 pepperoni pizza that was like this big.
From the first night.
The first night, and not only like when I spent $55 on what looks like it looks like a slice.
Wait, the pizza was $27. You had like 4 beers.
No. My total bill was like 120 something. The pizza was 55 because they convinced me to do this mozzarella thing and then add pepperoni to it, which made it more expensive. And then Yulia's salad was $30. The rest of it was beer.
All right, just let me.
yeah.
I won't super chat it because I know YouTube will take half. So
No, not half. It's only 30%. But what I will note here is it's fine. Look, if I'm going to spend that kind of money on what looks like a literal slice of pizza, it better be the most amazing thing to touch my lips. It was like below average. It wasn't even good.
Nothing worse than a below average pizza, man.
this has been in Seattle for over 30 years. Like,
I would rather had Domino's pizza if I'm honest.
Oh,
Whoa.
I was not here for this pizza
You were
outing,
not, yeah, you
so
were
I can't comment.
That
But I will
said,
say this in Josh's defense, the man has a very gentle touch.
what I would tell you is, like, depends on where you live. I'm not sure how Seattle's pizza scene is, but Springfield, Illinois has a crazy pizza scene. So saying Domino's, man, that's fighting words, man. Here,
I will note though, we did go to a pizza joint later that I think Josh has looked up to see how it was rated. They did buy the slice, and that place was pretty good. I'm not gonna say the best pizza ever. However, their hot honey. They had some homemade hot honey that was
The garlic knots were really good too.
The garlic, you fuck up garlic knots. Get the fuck out of here. You shouldn't eat a pizza place.
Right.
But that hot honey sauce is maybe the best hot honey sauce I've ever had in my life. That was really good. And that leveled the pizza up to like, okay, this is almost an S tier slice with this hot honey on it. So you made up for it. But the thing is, that slice was $9, but like the size of the pizza I paid $55 for. So
I had no idea.
For a pizza.
So here's the thing. The guy we were with is the pickiest eater I've ever met. So I was like, okay, if he likes this place, then I think everybody will probably like it. I had only been there one time. We sat outside. We had a beer. I really liked what they did. Did not remember the prices, nothing. I was just like, this place was a vibe. We can sit outside. They didn't have any outside seating open until after we were done eating. And my pizza was great. I had like blueberries on it, and it was like,
What?
Like, yeah, it was. I know it was like, but like, it's like local farms, like vegetables and blueberries and cheeses. I'm like, yo, this is.
God, you're lucky you're not in Jersey. Sopranos will be coming to you looking to do some things, man. God,
I'm not far. So
Gordon Ramsay, you put blueberries on your pizza.
Okay, so
there's Crawler in the chat saying, hey.
That's funny, dude. Hey, I'm not the one talking shit about you. Don't worry about me. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. So I owe you $55. I got you.
It was just funny. I'm like, that. By the way, that was the first food we had in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So that
real quick, hey, we got a Springfielder in the chat. Cool.
It was not. I was like, is this what the rest of the trip's going to be? Overly expensive food that's mid. This sucks. Seattle sucks. And then it turns out Seattle wasn't too bad after that. But I'm going to put it this way. The pizza they sold inside the convention center, those little tiny circle ones, that was better. And especially value for what you got. So I know you love it, and that's fine. I gotta say.
Nate, at this point, you're just being rude, man.
Savage.
It's all good. I can take it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Just like I'll say this.
It's a bougie pizza joint, is really what it is. It's super bougie.
I will say, just to point this out, and I probably got to thank Stash for this morning. We went to that ramen place later, one of our last meals or whatever. And I'm not a big ramen guy, so it was just okay. But I will say, you were right about the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
The eggs were amazing. Like you were that made up for the fact that I was like, the flavor is just okay to me. But what really only matters, I did like 25 sake bombs there with Stash. So like, once I had that many in me, it didn't really matter. Everything was good. So,
so before we go on, first and foremost, I got to answer. There's somebody who asked me a question in the chat. Just want to let you know. So, Michael, you asked me what my favorite Springfield pizza place is. It was Galina's Pizza over off of the north end, but it's closed now. So now I'll go Bernie and Betty's or Gabatoni's, which is nationally famous. Now, for you guys, I got a lightning round. What does everybody like pizza toppings, favorite pizza toppings? Because I always got to know what pizza fans. So
Sure, let's rapid fire this. I'll just go first. I like a junk pizza, so I like a go pepperoni, breakfast bacon, sausage, black olive, onion, green pepper. Throw some jalapenos on that sumbitch, and you know what? If you want to throw a little sweetness, I don't mind. Put some pineapple on that sumbitch.
That all sounds incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't always get that because it's stupidly expensive everywhere you go to get that many toppings, but you know.
I'll go really fast. There's one here that is called the Hot John, and because it's near Philly, and it's just pepperoni, jalapenos, and hot honey, and it's delicious.
Yeah, that's good.
That sounds good.
But my favorite pizza is from the place I grew up, where I graduated high school. It's called Stanwood, Washington. It's an hour north of Seattle. And Jimmy's Pizza is the place, and they have a pie there called Jimmy the Italian, and it's hamburger, pepperoni, pine nuts, spinach, sun-dried tomatoes. And it's honestly a life-changing slice for me. Like, it's the best thing.
I remember you told that on the trip. I was like, oh, okay, that sounds better than what I'm eating right now.
Yeah,
so you're gonna have to try that one too.
Yeah, I might have to make it out there sometime. Tiger Time, favorite toppings on a pizza?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'd probably go mushroom banana peppers. Those are key.
Banana peppers are good.
Love some banana peppers. I'd probably put bacon on there, and I will give a shout out to lobster pizza too. That's kind of crazy, but yeah.
Ooh, that sounds good. Actually.
That's a crazy one, yeah. But I'd probably just go, banana peppers, mushroom, bacon, spinach, some greens on there. Yeah.
Eric.
You pretty much put anything on a pizza, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Y'all making me hungry. All right, back to the
Wait! I gotta save my pizzas, dude.
Whoa,
what the hell?
We gotta you gotta remind everyone you're here, Gamebird.
That felt pointed. No, listen, if I'm going real simple, I can't go wrong with the classic pepperoni, specifically the little pepperonis that curl up when they cook.
Yes,
it's got to be those ones. But
yeah,
if I'm feeling more fun and I want the flavors, I like so many different toppings. Obviously, like olives, mushrooms, pepperoni, jalapenos, always great, onions, peppers. I really like when they put roasted garlic and like arugula on the super bomb, or even like little chunks of feta cheese on there if you want to get fancy.
You're eating that with your pinky out.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time. But yeah, no, those are like the two, like a customized bomb style supreme. Or just like that iconic. What do you call those pepperoni? What are those pepperonis that curl
the crispy ones? Yeah, no, the crispy
ones.
They're
around here. They get the little tiny puddles of the pizza grease.
Old style pepperoni around here, but there has to be. I think they just used to just call it pepperoni back in the day, but now I think they just call it old style. They're thick, they curl up, they get crispy.
Yeah. Dude, they're so good.
Yeah, I don't know why we ever went to different pepperoni. They should never changed it.
No,
dude, it was for perfect.
It's cheaper for those razor thin pepperonis. That's really why they.
Yeah, well, whoever made that call is an asshole.
Yeah, why make my food worse, you fucks? Anyway. Okay. By the way, they did not use old cool pepperoni on that $55 pizza I had. Just so people know, they cheaped out on the pepperoni. God damn it. Okay.
The beer was good, right? Did you have something? Was there anything redeeming?
It's beer.
Okay. All right.
Go to a place and have a beer and enjoy it. Then it's not even worth going. What are we doing?
Right. Okay. All right.
Guys, this has been the Pizza Bite podcast.
Right. I literally should have just ordered beer and then just got DoorDash later at the hotel. Would have been a better time.
We should do it. Hey,
what is the same anyways?
We should do a pizza party podcast episode where we all order pizzas and stuff.
Oh boy,
and just do like a pizza party podcast.
I'm totally
nothing but chewing the entire time
with the greasy lips,
right?
Those crunchy pepperoni
lips.
Get it in my mouth right now, man.
That's great. Okay, all right. So let's get back to the games. The reason that we're here.
You just wait. All the pizza super. Wait, Nate. Ask the audience what they like on their pizzas.
Yeah,
those pizza super chats are going to come flooding in.
Why do I have that?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Throw it down there, chat.
Yeah, throw it down there, chat.
Everyone in chat, listen up. This is Gamebird Classic speaking. Sound off in the chat. Let us know what you want on your pizza right now.
Right now.
Before it's too late.
Okay. Moving on.
Too bad Pizza Tower wasn't in this
I
draft.
will note, if anyone's super chat in their favorite toppings, I will feature it while we're talking about games. You might get a crazy reaction from someone and like, wait, what? That said, let's talk about some games. What game? You know what? Let's go around. Let's pick like an individual game we want to spend some time on. We'll go around the room. Flipping the Switch. The one who doesn't own a Switch too. What game would you like us to talk about right now?
Oh man. Well, let's. I mean, God, got to start it off strong. Metroid Prime 4, man.
There it is. Yep. All right, we'll get the Metroid Prime 4 trailer going.
So let me start off by saying I've been a lifelong Metroid fan ever since Metroid 1. I still think Metroid 1 is a phenomenal game that is tragically misunderstood by a modern gaming audience. To this day, still hasn't been surpassed when you factor in all macroeconomic conditions such as population growth, gamers getting older, having more disposable income, half the world being behind an iron curtain. Metroid is amazing. Now, Dread is my favorite, but I just played Metroid Prime for the first time literally like 2 years ago on the Nintendo Switch because I never owned a GameCube.
Oh, wow. All right.
And I could not believe how perfect a transition into 3D that Retro was able to get this game, man. Mm-hmm. I could not believe it. So I've been waiting on this game for like 8 years. And lo and behold, this trailer comes out today. And it's the Metroid I love. We've got psionic powers, kind of like Dune, which if you think about Metroid and the energy crisis, that fits right in. As far as the psionic powers, kind of taking after Dune. She's on a fucking Akira motorbike. It's like all of the sci-fi tropes are coming home to roost. It looks quasi-open world. And I'm just like, what is this game going to be like when it comes out? Like, this is one I am just super anticipating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's go over to Eric. What are your thoughts? I know you've never been a really big Metroid person.
No.
So what do you think and see in this trailer?
I'm excited for people who love Metroid. I mean, me myself, I just know I'm probably not going to pick it up, not just because it doesn't look like a great game. It's just time, mainly. And I have other games that I want to play beforehand. You down the line, never say never, but yeah, it looks like it could be what everybody was looking. A lot of people were looking for, I should say.
Yeah.
It's kind of in a pretty tight launch window. I think Octopath Traveler 0 comes out the same day, which is another game I'm really looking forward to. Mm-hmm. So there's that aspect of it. But yeah, there's more enemies on screen than there seem to be with Prime. It looks really good. It looks really, really good. Coming out of 8 years of development hell and starting from scratch game development, which who the hell knows what that means? Did they even have to start from scratch on concept? Like, who knows? It looks really good for how long it's been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's go over to Tiger time, man. What are you thinking? Give me your full thoughts right now. Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, so I remember starting out with Metroid. I played the original Metroid on that same NES that my mom was playing Zelda on, and that game just kicked my ass over and over again. So there's some trauma there from Metroid, but then I played Super Metroid, really liked that.
Hell yeah.
And I remember played Metroid Prime on the Wii, and that totally blew my mind, just like the motion controls and how cool that intro is. We all know that.
Yep.
And then I played Remastered, of course. And yeah, seeing this really got me excited. I will say I haven't played 2 or 3, so I'm one of those people that really wish, exactly. Really wish that they were more accessible. So still kind of hoping for those to show up in some manner, but I'm really looking forward to 4. I will say I do still feel like it's not getting the attention it deserves still. It feels like, we still need that dedicated direct, which, I could definitely still see coming, but I don't know. It still feels like just the stuff we saw. It wasn't a lot. It's really cool to see the Metroids going somewhat open world and the bike's really badass. it still looks beautiful, but I do still feel like it needs some more attention. And in terms of the open world too, it did look sort of empty. I saw those concerns online. I think it'd be cool to kind of show more of that desert world and see what's going on with that aspect of it. I did really like the sci-fi elements where it kind of looked like some cool badass Bayonetta style level. So that was really exciting looking. But yeah, I mean, like this here on screen, you can kind of see it's very, very barren in some ways. I mean, we'll see kind of how that ends up shaping
I can
up.
see that.
But yeah, I'm definitely super excited and still hoping for 2 and 3. But yeah, I mean, it's looking great overall for sure.
I agree that it could probably use a little bit more attention. The sad thing is, though, Metroid has just never been a big seller, and I nobody regrets that more than me. However, I always point to, I still like to put Metroid as one of Nintendo's most important games, not necessarily because it's a selling game, but because this is the game Nintendo can point to when you have the kiddie charge. So different games, I'm a big believer that, once again, to go back to food, different games service different appetites. So Metroid has always been that hardcore Nintendo game. It's always been that challenging hardcore game that you can point to and say, there it is. You want to say Nintendo's kiddie? Go try OG Metroid and watch it eviscerate you.
Totally. Yeah, like I said, I experienced that with the first Metroid way back in the day. But
or Dread even. Dread is hard.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I'll be interested to see how this carries over. But yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Let's go over to, I guess the Birdman's next, right? We got to fly the fly.
Let's do it. So I gotta be honest. This part of the direct was a little bit disappointing for me, and I say that as someone who's a massive Metroid fan. This is my most anticipated game of the year right now. So it's not to knock the game, but I feel like Nintendo does not know how to market this game properly. Just the way they've been marketing it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think we all agree, this is a game that deserves a lot more attention. This is a game that most likely, especially based on Retro's track record, based on the series track record, is going to review extremely well. It's probably going to be an amazing game, more likely than not. And so when I see a trailer like this, one of the first things was, you brought up Tiger Time, was the desert and how barren it looked, or deserted it looked. There's some of that thunder right there. Yeah. But I have been told that this is just one of many large open zones, and that this isn't indicative of what the other larger zones are going to be like. So I don't know how many, but my other concern is, while I think the motorcycle looks awesome, I love that Akira style, like kind of anime, just badass, doing the motorcycle slide and taking out the enemies. My fear with this is, whenever games add a vehicle element, but the vehicle part isn't a central to the game design, it's just like an extra thing that you do in the game. I always feel like it just doesn't feel right. And then a great example of this, I mean, there's so many games that are a great example of this. I hate the vehicles in at least the first 3 Borderlands games feel like ass to me. Just how like slidey they are. Even think the Batman games, like, a lot of people would have thought Arkham Knight was the best of the Batman trilogy, but the Batmobile missions ruined it. So that is a concern of mine. Like, how's this motorcycle going to control? Is it going to feel like a game that's based on being mounted, or is this going to be like an extra side thing that doesn't quite feel as good?
Yeah.
Like when you play a game and you're on a mount and you're like, I kind of just want to be back on foot again because the mount doesn't feel like The Witcher. It's another example. Like the horse feels like ass. It's like notorious for feeling terrible. So that's definitely a concern. Doesn't mean that this motorcycle is going to perform poorly. It's just something that I have to think about. But also, not having a Metroid Center Direct announced in this for a later date for me is a miss. That's granted, there's still time. The game doesn't come out till December, but we got an announcement of another Kirby Air Riders Direct, but we already had an hour Direct for Kirby Air Riders.
Mhm.
And I don't think Kirby Air Riders needed more time outside of. We saw a lot of that game, and
It absolutely did not.
Yes, and it's been demoed at Gamescom. It's been demoed at PAX.
That game, Bomba Bin game.
A lot of coverage. So
You're giving Sakurai everything he wants. That's all.
Yes,
this is.
absolutely.
Grr.
But again, it's like this game needs it. This game deserves it. I would have been stoked even if they announced that they have a holiday bundle for this game, like a Christmas type bundle that bundles Metroid and a Switch 2, and you get the game for $50, the Switch 2 version, just to move the needle, to get people who are like, I've never been into Metroid, I've never wanted to buy one, but I get the game for $50, the Switch 2 version, and I get a Switch 2. Maybe I'll just try it out. So I don't know. I just feel like they've the pacing, even the pacing of this trailer. The trailer looked really cool. I don't mean to be negative on it. I just like imagine if this was like a little bit more of an epic story trailer, a little bit of like narrative, a little bit more cinematic. It was some cool motorcycle footage, a shot of Silas, and then a hard cut out. And I'm like, man, they could like this looks great if you love Metroid, but if you have no idea what this is, it's kind of like
A good point.
huh. You know, I don't know.
So, Gamer,
want
you
this
mentioned
game
the
to do well.
motorcycle. You mentioned the
Yeah, yeah,
motorcycle, and I think you made a great point. I think Nintendo missed a huge opportunity here to make the suit part of the motorcycle itself. Samus, like, there's always this image, and it's the sci-fi element, but there's always the mythological image too. If you go back all throughout mythology, there's the image of a warrior woman taking her helmet off and her hair spilling over the armor. And so the suit has always been integral to Samus Aran's character and has been integral to the Metroid series. The more you can integrate the suit, the better it always turns out. So if there was a way to maybe make a suit, maybe a new suit that formulates into that motorcycle, I think they missed a huge opportunity for that, sadly.
For sure. And I just want to say one last thing. It would not surprise me to see this being the highest or the second or third highest reviewed game of the year. I have full confidence that this game is going to be amazing, and I cannot wait to play it. I was very bummed when we didn't get a demo for it at PAX because it was one of the things I was really excited to play. But you know, I gotta be real. I feel like they could have marketed it better. They don't need to market it better for me. I'm sold day one. So it's all the millions of people that they really want to buy this game who haven't been buying it, you know, in the past. That
please buy it and play Dread. Buy it and play Metroid Dread, please.
All right, did everyone go yet? I can't remember. Josh did.
I haven't gone.
Oh,
Okay.
Josh.
Yeah, I'm a huge Prime fan. So it's again not. It's I think to just kind of piggyback on Gamebird, it's if you're a fan, you don't. All we needed to see was a logo and we were good. And kind of like Air Riders, they've shown so much. You have to play it. That game just needs a demo and it will sell more copies. Like, in my opinion, like once I played Air Riders, I was like, oh yeah, this is actually quite fun. And Sakurai knows what he's doing. But watching it on screen, and even people that watched the videos that I put out, they were like, it looked like chaos was happening. And it's like, yeah, it is, but it's also fun. So I think the biggest thing to remember and the hardest, maybe the hardest pill to swallow with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is that it's a Switch 1 game. And that it looks beautiful in some areas and it looks very old in other areas. And so that's something that I think we're starting, you know, we saw Resident Evil, we saw Final Fantasy, we're seeing some of these games that can shine on Switch 2, and I'm not saying it can't, but when you see that desert that looks like there's hardly anything in it, that's people are going to notice that, you know.
Yeah. And like I said, I've been told that there's multiple open zones and they're not all like that. So it's like I wonder why they show the one that's barren.
I do feel like it is important to note that it is a desert too. Like,
Sure.
you know, it is a naturally barren environment. That's something I was thinking about when I was seeing these all online. Like
Sure.
the Gerudo Desert is kind of tastefully barren, though. You know, they use the sandstorms to kind of conceal areas, and you have to go between
right.
areas. So if they do it that way, it could still be done well. But I was just thinking about that. It is a desert after all. But,
The other thing to consider, and I would hope this isn't the case, is that anybody you talk to in game development will tell you deserts are some of the easiest biomes to develop because there's just not a lot to them. They're sparse, etc. That makes me wonder in the back of my head, is this a last minute addition? I don't think it is, given what I know about Nintendo and retro, but I would hope this isn't some kind of last minute slapdash.
If this serves as ultimately an arena for like a massive scale boss fight,
That would be
that's
amazing.
cool. That would be really cool. That you're on the motorcycle, a huge like Titan sized boss fight. But we'll have to see.
Well, and to even lean into that a little further, if that boss is not beatable until you get a certain power up and you have to literally run from it, and nothing can be there because it kills everything, it also makes sense why it's so barren and there's nothing there. So, you know, it kind of do like the Dune aspect of whatever, like sandworms kind of thing, like that would be great. But I mean, when she got off the bike and the lava spilling out, like everything's looking fantastic. It's just by Metroid, you know, by Metroid. I thought is this, are we going to see Samus in Mario Kart World before Donkey Kong on her on her bike here, you know? Like, and also putting it out after Tron, maybe some people will think they're buying Tron at that point, you know.
All right. First off, if you want to know how hyped I am for Metroid Prime 4, we switch the mic covers because purple seems to be the theme for this game.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Here's the thing. I've been listening. You guys are like, you're excited, you're sold, but then there's just all this criticism. I don't know what the fuck is going on. That was one of the most exciting video game trailers I've seen in my entire goddamn life. They're putting open world in the fucking Metroid while keeping corridors. And it's a sand. It's a new. Well, there's no fucking battles that can fight enemies at once in the middle of the desert. You're talking about hypothetical boss fights. What the hypothetical should literally be in a badass in the middle of a desert fighting enemies. What are we doing? She can fire her arm cannon while power sliding into another enemy. Oh my God. This looks amazing. One of the greatest in a video game. What are we doing? No for casuals. I don't give a fuck.
Prime, I tried to stay positive.
Prime. Metroid Prime. Yeah, never mind. That's not why the channel's called that. It is now. I'm officially changing the Prime. Oh my God, this game looks so good. You want to get more sales for it? I'm more excited. Make people pay. We have an audience. Make them pay attention. Force them. Shove it down their throats. Telling you. This game looks incredible. It is maybe one of the greatest video games to ever exist, and I haven't even played it yet. That's how excited I am. This has the potential to be a 97. And people are going to be like, oh, Expedition 33 won Game of the Year. Yeah, because Metroid Prime didn't qualify because it was in December. Highest rated video game of the year. Pay fucking attention. Nintendo might even drop a trailer for the damn game after it comes out at the Game Awards, just to remind everyone. They're going to show the Metacritic and OpenCritic rating right on screen right before Game of the Year, just to remind everyone, this is bullshit because this should be Game of the Year. By the way, don't forget about this. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, Dad.
I don't appreciate your tone. Friends shouldn't talk.
There's a shit ton to be positive about with Metroid Prime 4. Yeah. But I'm
feeling the hype. I'm feeling just like people are disappointed. Oh, I was already gonna but, you know, the desert's kind of boring and like.
Well,
hey.
So what I would say,
don't misconstrue my words because I never said the desert's boring. I said that I wouldn't be surprised if this is the highest game of the year. All I said, my only. And I did clarify that I've been told that there's multiple large open zones, not just the desert.
Yeah, there
I'm
is.
not
you
worried.
Yeah.
I'm not
I defended
worried
the
about the desert at all. I have
The
zero
desert
fear about the
was good,
desert.
by the way.
So what I
Well-
would say is welcome to the curmudgeonly, never-ending nightmare abyss that is the analytical mind of flipping the switch, Prime.
I just want to say I blame Game Bird for my answer.
But I did start positive. I did start very positive.
Hold on. My whole thing was positive. I didn't say one bad thing about the game. I said something bad about Nintendo. I said they can be marketing this game a lot better, and I stand by that 100%. Dude, they could
Same
be
here.
marketing this game
It's gonna
better.
be- It's going to be
They
hard.
could be. Hold on, no.
Hold on.
Let me finish.
You talk about story.
Let me finish.
Who gives
No.
a fuck about story? Metroid's about gameplay, motherfucker.
Yes. It is. It is. Hold on now. It is. It is about gameplay, but there's also so much. Like if you go back to what Nintendo with Gunpei Yokoi, you've got Alien, you've got Dune with the Metroids being used as energy. You've got so many sci-fi references that you got to respect the story and the lore of Metroid. Come on.
I'm not saying I don't. I'm saying that's not why I buy the games.
I think that's true for most people.
Listen, I'm trying to have an honest conversation here. There's a number of games that I've played that I've loved, and then it gets to a random ass.
Hold on.
It gets into a random ass vehicle section, and it's like my least favorite part of the game. Even here's a great example of a Nintendo game. I loved Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. I used to like Dynasty Warriors games. Zelda's my favorite series. This was a match made in heaven. You know what I hated about that game? All the Divine Beast missions. They sucked. Maybe one time each Divine Beast was fine.
Yeah,
but then when I realized I got to do this again.
Yeah, the repeatedness
Really?
of that was.
But
Warriors
how
game.
about Hyrule Castle, guys? How about that last dungeon, Hyrule Castle? It is one of
It's
the
awesome.
best combat centric. I felt like I was an NES fucking Zelda again. I loved Hyrule Castle.
It was good.
Yeah,
Just give me that with 8 Hyrule Castles, please. That's all I need to be happy. I could die happy.
We'll get to Age of Imprisonment. That's probably going to be the game I bring up if no one else does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't trying to frame like you're not excited for the game, Gamer.
Yeah.
Obviously you are. This is day one for you.
This is my
sitting
most
back
anticipated.
I'm just sitting here listening to everyone, and I'm like, dude, the energy is so low right now. What is happening? This is like
Well, we've been up
This
since
year.
5:30 in the
We got
morning.
more excited for Mario Kart World, and look what happened. Like this game's actually gonna be deserving of the hype. No offense, N64, Josh.
It's fine. I'll cry myself to sleep tonight.
But no, look, I saw some people say like, no way, it's a 97. Look, Metro Primes will pretty much always score 95 or higher. That's just the way it's always been. I don't see like red flags in this game at all. Like, look, you can hate how they're marketing it. I don't know what they're supposed to do. People were waiting for a moment in this game that's supposed to be like, oh, this is why it has mass appeal. That's what they just tried today. They showed motorcycle open world. That was them trying to show, hey, this
Nothing
is what
shows mass appeal like a motorcycle.
motorcycle.
I'm kidding.
Vehicle combat.
I'm kidding. I'm just
Motorcycle's
listen.
badass, by the way. Dude, they show her doing a fucking wheelie, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. And she's a biker chick now. This is sick. Then
Did
maybe
you hear the
Zero-
Excite Bike music kick in?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
That actually would be great.
But here's the thing. I gotta say this, guys. I do firmly believe we've seen this a lot already happen this year, and we're getting it again for Kirby Air Riders again. There's going to be a direct for this game.
Yeah,
like an
I'll be
actual
happy.
direct.
If that happens,
yeah,
I'll be
I think
happy.
right now they're just trying to tease different aspects, and it's all going to come together in that direct. We're going to see that there's more zones than just the desert, not just in the background. We're going to see that. We're going to see her get off the bike and do things in the open world, because you probably get off the bike in the open world. It's just you're in the middle of the desert. Why the hell would you get off a bike, right? Like, to me, like the fact we even need a bike, lets you know how big this world is, because you need that form of fast travel to even get around. That's awesome. I'm curious, is it a bike? Do you summon the bike, or is it like a horse? You have to go find it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Keep showing off how great the chat thinks. I'm well aware, okay? hated Nintendo YouTuber of all time. Our audio listeners, they just kept featuring all these not super chats, all these just regular chats talking about how great Game Boy Classic is. I get it, right? Look, we invited him to be a co-host on the show for a reason. He's amazing.
That's
Dude,
right.
he's got great charisma. He's sexy. He knows what's up. He's got all the appeal. Twisted
He's
nipples.
got a budding mustache.
Mhm.
Yeah, like it ain't no Thunderstash, but it's pretty close. You know, give him
Nobody's
a little
Thunderstash except maybe that Mr. E in the Yoshi game.
You might grow it out a little more. Let's see what happens. Anyways, no, I wasn't trying to like obviously poo-poo on you guys. You guys obviously mostly are excited for it. Eric, unfortunately, the thing about Eric, and this is why I wanted to hear his thoughts, was like Metroid needs to expand. Like if this was a 3D Mario, Eric's day wanting it. If it's a 3D Zelda, he's day wanting it. I don't know if there's anything Nintendo can do to make people who don't like Metroid day one Metroid. Like I just don't think there's anything they can do. I think when you look at the Metroid series, there's nothing about it that's going to create mass appeal because what makes Metroid great are the very things that don't have mass appeal. Like that's the problem with the series. And it's only a problem if you think it needs mass appeal. I think there are people, and I've seen this a little bit online today that are, I would say a little bit justifiably worried because after Other M, Nintendo was going to put Metroid on the shelf for a while. There are people that are worried that this could be the last Prime game, the last 3D Metroid game. We're going to get side-scrolling again because Dread did well enough, but people are worried that if this game doesn't sell enough, we're not going to get another one. And I do think that that is a fair discussion point. It's also one reason why they kept it on Switch 1, not just moved it over to Switch 2 because they want as big of an install base as possible to buy this game. But I also sit back and I go, you know, we used to talk about this back when Andres Restart was a co-host about this game, being like, you know, what can they do to make it appeal? Well, it's got to be maybe open world because people love open world. They did that. You know, it's got to have multiplayer. Haven't seen that yet. That could still be something that gets revealed. This game's coming in December. We have 3 months to hype this game up. So now that we know a release date, the marketing cycle is going to shift to it eventually. I don't know when, because Kirby Air Riders comes out end of November, and they clearly are giving Sakurai everything they want with that game. Which I'm not mad about it because we know what game's coming next after Kirby Air Riders. It's going to be Smash. So like we know they're get whatever Sakurai wants to do, he's going to get to do. I just hope that's not in lieu of Nintendo doing other direct. Like if they do a Kirby Air Riders direct and then don't do more direct, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. Yeah. So you know, maybe Kirby Air Riders ends up blowing up. It could. It's being positioned as the big holiday game. Maybe it does. I'm not gonna sit here and say anything other than on that because I don't think we're gonna probably talk about Kirby Air Riders much today. I'm not gonna say anything on that other than Sakurai's more popular than he's ever been. Him alone can end up pushing sales the way Kojima does. And I played Kirby Air Riders and it was fantastic. So I think once people get their hands on it, they'll also think it's good. That said, I don't know that it has the appeal. Obviously, it doesn't have the appeal of a Mario Kart. So we'll see. I have no idea. That's like a wild card to me, and it's only a wild card because it has to be evergreen. And I don't know if it's going to be evergreen. Metroid Prime 4, that's kind of the thing. Like, are they going to do enough in this game to make it evergreen? And I think what makes it evergreen is a multiplayer mode that's not announced yet. And that, I think, is going to be a big determining factor if this game continues to sell for months and months and months. But we'll see. I also try to remind myself that, like, the Switch 1 audience, this is one of 2 big games they get this holiday. Like, we got to remember, for Switch 1, this is it. It's Legends EA and Metroid. That's the big games this holiday. There is all these other games, the Kirby. None of this matters for Switch 1 owners. And Switch 1's still the primary audience for Nintendo. So there is that chance that, like, it might just get a boost because Switch 1 owners don't have anything else to play. Right? So, like, there could be a boost on Switch 1 because of that.
Do it, Switch 1 owners.
And I'm all for that. Because if the Switch 1 owners buy that and the rumors are true that Metroid Prime 5 is already being worked on, that's going to just boost Metroid Prime 5 that much more on Switch 2 because people then might buy a Switch 2 for Metroid Prime 5. That could be a strategy Nintendo's going with right now, hoping that Switch 1 will just pick it up because they need something to play. However, we do need a direct. I do admit that, like, in order to convince a majority of people, we need a direct. But I have to say this as well. The problem, and this is, a problem for it's a weird problem. The only people that watch these directs are people that are buying the games anyway. So like getting communication out of those directs to other people is very difficult for Nintendo to do. Like a Metroid Prime 4 direct, the only people watching it are people that like Metroid Prime 4. They already like it, they already want it, and they're all just going to see more of it. That's not going to hit with the audience to expand it. How it expands is the same way that happened with Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild has a core audience bigger than Metroid, right? It was like 8 million, was like the best selling Zelda ever. Every Zelda is going to sell 4 million at least, no matter what Nintendo does. That's just how, that's where Zelda was at. But Zelda wasn't like this mega franchise. It was a very popular franchise that actually could never hit 10 million, could never get into the double digits of the millions until Breath of the Wild. And why did Breath of the Wild blow up? Word of mouth. People playing it. People sharing it, showing the clips, talking about it. It getting rated a 97 caught people's attention out of nowhere. This game's being rated as one of the highest rated video games of all time, by the way. We're not just talking about for the year, of all time. One of the highest rated video games. And on top of that, all the gameplay clips being shown, all the TikToks and the social media, everything around the game was just super hype. And that's because of not Nintendo, but people touching the game and sharing it. And that's what has to happen with Metroid Prime 4. It has to get that where the audience that plays it thinks it's so amazing. They got to share all these clips and talk about it all the time and live stream it all the time. And that's where the word of mouth gets out. And yes, it does need a review very high. And that sucks that we need a game to do like record high reviews in order to like garner attention outside of its core fan base. But I think that's what needs to happen because this is the last chance for 3D Metroid. I think if this bombs, that's it. Yeah. I think Prime 5 gets canceled. They move Retro onto something else.
Listen, Nate, I agree with that sentiment. And that's where my fears of the way this game has been marketed. And I do agree with you. I do think word of mouth is it's a lot more powerful now because of the internet, Yeah. The way things have changed. But yeah. This is something that I am praying that Nintendo either does a dedicated direct or releases like a 10 to 15 minute overview trailer that really shows off a lot of cool features, talks a little bit about the lore and stuff. Because keep in mind, there's a lot of people with how popular Nintendo is right now. There's a lot of people who started their Nintendo journey with Switch 1. And those are people you want to get on board. So this
I will note, I'm just glancing at, and this doesn't have anything to do with what's going to happen in the end, but just glancing at the trailer reviews on Nintendo, just Nintendo of America. I haven't checked the other countries. Metroid Prime 4 has about 300,000 views right now. It's well on pace to potentially get to 1 million. That's twice the amount of views of the DK Bonanza DLC. That's ahead of the Legend ZA DLC Mega Evolution stuff, like the ZA trailer. That's ahead of that one. It is only a little bit behind Pocopia that we think is going to sell very, very well. It is ahead of Resident Evil Requiem, which isn't a shocker, first party on Nintendo's own channel. It is also ahead of Age of Imprisonment. It's actually one of the most viewed things coming out of this direct. It is like literally one of the most viewed games. So I think word of mouth starting to get out even a little bit where people are starting, because this is after the direct, right? Like everyone who was there for the direct, we already saw it. We don't have to watch the trailer again. So I think that there is some word of mouth happening. And I point out, and I say this all the time, I'm obviously a big gamer, love video games. I pay a lot of attention to this stuff. And because of that, you always wonder, who are video game trailers for? Right? Yeah. They only ever seem to hit the core audience. That's really all they ever go to. It doesn't matter what's in the trailer. It doesn't go beyond the core audience. What always brings you beyond in the modern age is two things. One, if you show the trailer at an event that normally doesn't have your audience. Example, the Game Awards. Flapping it in front of an audience that isn't yours. That's why I think Nintendo doesn't always do a good job taking advantage, not being at Summer Game Fest, not having always being big at Game Awards, because that's where you get your games in front of people that don't know about your games. Okay. So that's one thing that you can do with a trailer. But Nintendo's trailers always seem to come in their own events, and Nintendo fans already know about this, right? They are pretty much decided already if they're buying it. So I feel like word of mouth is really how it goes. And when you look at how games blow up, like Expedition 33 blew up because of word of mouth. Word of mouth made that game blow up. And that's what you see with games in the modern day. The games that blow up are because the word of mouth carries the day and makes it trend on socials. So I'm not going to say hope is lost. You know, the marketing can be as weird as we want. It just matters when the game comes out. Are things happening in it that are so amazing, people can't help but share it on socials, because that's what's going to drive the sales. I firmly believe anyway.
So,
I could be wrong on this, but that's what I believe will happen.
So this is where we kind of round and circle back to that first question you asked, which is how do you rate the direct, right? So
yeah,
when I say, and that's why the question I asked is personally or from a business perspective, because now we get into the business discussion, right? So
yeah.
Now, in terms of a business direct, what do I give the direct? D. And the reason for that is specifically because of not only does it lack any of the major games like an Animal Crossing, a Smash Brothers, a 2D Mario, a classical